Look at all this loot! DJ, none for you! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I am a shameless fan of getting free stuff. Especially free tactical stuff that actually might work well with our hobby. So we're going to take a look at what I have been sent here today. We have the W Assault Helmet. I'll be looking at this one second. It looks neat. It has some cool features. I'm looking forward to actually trying that on. And then we have a vest. And my initial reaction to this vest, I didn't think I was going to be able to recommend it for our hobby because there were some potential issues. But the more I tinkered with it, the more I found features that I'm actually rather impressed by. And so I think it actually isn't a bad option. Wouldn't be my first, but I also wouldn't tell somebody not to get it. So we're going to take a look at it first. The first thing that I find really quite impressive is the sheer number of pouches they managed to cram on here and that they include. There's just an absurd amount of pouches, and some of them are really quite useful. This is a proper plate carrier. It does come with foam plates, and it is designed to have plates put in it, both in front and back. Mag down, and on the sides. So if you were actually looking for something that could actually offer protection, this could in fact do it if you had the right plates in it. Quick release buckles. I've never seen these particular buckles used on a vest yet, at least none of the ones that I've been sent. So easy to get on, easy to get off, much easier to get off actually. It's really easy to just click, click, and off it comes. But very adjustable. It's got the big Velcro panels that are holding the attachment points for the buckles, so you can increase it or decrease it as needed quite easily, so you can make it fit just about anybody. Out of the box, it actually fits me, and I am not the sveltest of individuals, so it does have quite a bit of room. You can see the sides are full molly and are festooned with more pouches, and the back is covered in pouches. When I said this thing came with a lot of pouches, I was not kidding. There really is almost nowhere you could put another pouch. And that is unusual. Now let's talk about the pouches. The first one up here on top is an admin pouch. I have pretty much the exact same one on my vest. Actually, this one might be a little nicer than the one that's on my heavy vest. It's got places for tools, pencils, maps, ID or what have you could be put there quite easily. Again, you could also put a map or objectives or whatever. Very handy. Somewhere like Afterworlds, that would be a place you could put your character sheet, which is often very useful. It does have more attachment points down here for pens or flashlights or whatever. It is molly. Very, very nice. We then have integrated in here some mag pouches. These cannot be removed, so there is no molly on the chest, as it were. This is not a panel that comes off, so this is permanently attached. And that's the one slight downside, because these aren't the best pouches for our hobby. They're not the worst, but they're not the best. So if we take a look at a standard full-size magazine, they will fit, but I imagine you could only actually get one on either side and then wouldn't be able to get the one in the middle just because it's a real tight fit. But they will fit, and they're definitely not going to fall out. But you can only get the one in each pouch. They're definitely meant rather for a slightly smaller magazine, I suspect. You might be able to get that middle one in, but I just doubt it. I think it would be very difficult to get it in. What works much better are Talon mags if you actually leave this elastic loop, and I took the one off of this side to be able to get the big mag in. But if you leave it on, you can actually quite nicely fit two in, side by side. And you can actually get three if you put them in this way, but again, it's a real tight fit at that point. And might not be the best. I would recommend going two and having them side by side staggered. Where'd that mag that made it jump go? Right. So you can easily fit 6 across the chest, like so. There is then a smaller mag pouch, obviously meant to be a pistol mag pouch, down below. And you can fit a Talon in them, but it is a real tight fit. It's a bit of a bit of work to get it in, and I would worried about darts being pulled in or jammed or whatever. But you can get a Talon in there and still get your 2 up there. What works much better are actually Katana mags. Fit a little bit better. They are just a little bit smaller, but they're also not the best fit, but they definitely fit better than the Talons. The best are Nightingale mags. Nightingale mags fit perfectly. So if you're running a loadout with either full length as your primary or Talons as your primary, you could then have a Nightingale as a sidearm when it's one of the best sidearms currently available, and that would work perfectly well. There are some other proprietary mags that would probably also work quite well for the pistol grip ones, the Fire Rat, the Diana, things like that. So yeah, it wasn't as bad as I originally thought when I was trying to put the big ones in, but if you're going with half dart mags, there's a lot of options. There are then 2 more on either side. So this thing has a ridiculous amount of magazine capacity spread out all the way across the front and sides, which is interesting. There is then this that hangs down. It is removable. It is just a Velcro flap, but it is, I mean, it looks kind of like an old fanny pack, but it's just a dump pouch. You could put, random darts in there, ammo in there, rockets, rival, whatever, and it, depending on how large you are, for me, this fits where it should, which is at the bottom of the vest is right at the bottom of my rib cage, which allows me full motion, and then this covers my gut. If you were smaller, it might be covering your unmentionables, and that might be a good thing. There is then just a utility pouch on either side as well, just zips open on the top. You could again put random darts in it, rockets in it, MacGuffins in it, gloves, water, whatever you wanted. Got some Velcro on there for patches. Exact same thing on the other side. Identical pouch there. Pretty nice. And then we go to the back, and we have more pouches. We have another fairly utility pouch, so this one opens up bigger. Will actually open all the way to flop open. These ones don't. They only zip to about halfway. Again, Velcro for patches nicely there on your back. The whole back is one big MOLLE panel, or rather 2 MOLLE panels. You then have what I assume is meant to be potentially a radio pouch. It could also be a water bottle pouch. Would fit a water bottle nicely. Very cool. Good idea. It also can hold magazines. It will hold that one very nicely. You could probably put at least, I would say, at least 3, maybe even 4 Talons. No, 3. 3 beautifully. I would love to have a bunch of those because that is the perfect size for 3 Talons. Nice and deep. They're not gonna bottle out. I was hoping it would fit some pistols, and there are a few. The Sweet Revenge fits fairly well. It's a nice holster for a Sweet Revenge. Fits better than a double AK pouch, which fits a hammer shot. This will not fit a hammer shot, but it will also fit some of the Dart Zone blasters. So the Deuce actually fits fairly well in there. It's not all the way down, but it's not gonna fall out. And the Outlaw also actually fits in there fairly well. So, you could use that as a holster if you needed to. And then there's one big utility pouch down here. Again, MacGuffins, map, magazines, ammunition, rockets, a poncho, whatever you needed you could have back there quite nicely. So the thing is just festooned with pouches. I was not expecting anywhere near as many pouches as are on here. As I started looking at it, just like, good lord, more pouches. So, yeah, not a bad option if you were looking for a plate carrier for Nerf use. Obviously, in a lot of our stuff, a full plate carrier is completely unnecessary, and in many of the locations we Nerf, it's downright inadvisable. You really shouldn't be wearing this kind of a plate carrier to your public Nerf war in the park. But for LARPs and for some HVZs, you could get away with this. Again, depending on the rules of the local group, whether they allow this level of dark tactical. I more and more advise against it. I recommend trying to find them in bright colors, but there aren't a lot of those. that's something we are hoping to actually work on and try to get companies to actually make bright colored tactical vests in orange and red and bright green and bright blue and stuff like that. There isn't a huge market for that, but it's something that if somebody was making them, they could corner what little market does exist, and that might work out for them. But in general, this is good, and if nothing else, there are so many pouches that you could repurpose to somewhere else. It'd almost be worth it just for the pouches. Maybe. So yeah, I like it. I may actually steal this admin pouch as it's slightly nicer than mine, so yeah. That's the vest. Link, of course, will be in the description. Let's take a look at this helmet. Because I'll be honest, that's what I'm excited about. Now, I'm slightly worried that it was going to be the camouflage one because obviously I want it in black. Luckily, that's just the packaging. Oh, look, a manual. Good lord. All kinds of instructions. Neat. Let's take a look. Anyway, they didn't do me dirty. They sent me a black one. Let's get this thing out of here. Oh, that is just fancy looking. I hope it fits. Oh, good lord, the box has disintegrated. That is just fancy looking. I hope it fits me. I got a big head. How does this open? Is it just flips open? So that can flip open, but it's not going to do it on accident. So, but you can get a little bit more air, or if it fogs up, that's my concern, is it'll fog up. All right, I'm gonna gander through the instructions before I break something. Train. All right, I think I've figured out how it works, mostly. So, we have here a helmet. You push the two buttons here on either side, and the front mask piece comes off. Now, there's not nearly as much ventilation in this front as I would like. In fact, it actually came with full padding in the front, which, I mean, would protect your face, but it makes it kind of hard to breathe. If you take it out, there's a couple little air holes there, but that's about it. Under the cheeks, there are no air holes. You could add some air holes or some vents, but you also don't have to have this on at all if you don't want it. You can, of course, adjust the padding as needed, and then to put it back on, you just line it up under the goggles and it just snaps in. So, Cyberpunk as all get out. This does raise up. If you want to have it up for whatever reason, that is an option. Obviously, you're going to want your iPro down when you're in an event. Two screws right here and here allow you to swap out. It comes with a clear option. If you prefer that to the darker option, there isn't a mesh option, which is a shame. That would have been a little bit more difficult to engineer, though not, I feel, impossible, but apparently they decided not to go that route. You've got Picatinny rail on the sides here if you want to add a flashlight or a camera or whatever. There was also a standard mount in the front here for camera or night vision or whatever else. There's Velcro aplenty all over it for attaching whatever you feel like. And then come the fancy features. Well, inside there's full padding, and it comes with additional padding, so you can adjust the padding to your preference. You can go with none, and there's just kind of a styrofoam layer in there. Again, make it fit you. It is adjustable, so you can tighten or loosen it. There's a spiral screw there for that. Worm gear, chin strap, obviously adjustable, longer, shorter, whatever you need. We then have some electronic gizmos in here. On the back, there is a battery housing that holds 3 AA batteries, and a button here that turns on the internal fans. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. There is a high setting, a low setting, and off. And it kind of blows right into your temples, which is actually really cooling and soothing. The downside is it's also kind of near your ears and makes it hard to hear. Luckily, this thing also has radio built into it. So it's got 2 mounts here and here. On this side mounts a microphone in a 1.5 or 1.5? No, 2.5 millimeter jack that I didn't know was a thing. It locks in there, and then there's a screw to secure it so that little pin doesn't get busted off, because it probably could. You've got your mic for your radio, and then on the other side, right opposite of it, you have a 3.5 millimeter jack that plugs in here, and then this is what it comes with. And the other side is 7.1 NATO. Apparently that's a standard I was also not aware of, but anything that plugs in with 3.5 millimeter should work as long as it adheres to the standard. So you can plug your radio in there as long as it will jack in, and then you can talk. You got a mic so they can hear you, which is good because if this is on, you're going to be kind of muffled, but it puts the mic right under your chin. If you don't have it on, obviously you can move it to be a little bit more up if you feel like it. How that works or how that sounds, I don't know, because I don't have a radio that will plug into it. It looks like this whole assembly, the earpieces with the fans and the radio, is all removable. Probably joints on the inside, yep. Couple of screws on the inside, and that whole assembly would simply come off, and you would just have the helmet. It would still have the face guard, that wouldn't come off, but you would have open ear flaps. I don't know if they make a replacement smaller one, but that is what we have for this very, very cyberpunky looking helmet. This is a perfect thing for afterwards. I mean, if I could wear this for more than a second without this just completely fogging up, I absolutely would. I may actually look into trying to design a mesh for this, though also this isn't necessary. Afterwards doesn't require iPro. It's just highly recommended. Yeah, that, of all the helmets I've been sent, this is definitely the schnazziest as far as features go. It doesn't have the raising visor that the one had, but it definitely has more and better features and seems to work really nicely. I like this mounting up here. They've got everything you need for that. That is pretty nifty. That is a pretty nifty gizmo. I will have to look into checking the radio and testing it. Alright, let's get this thing on Loadout Larry and see how it looks. And here we have Loadout Larry in the full ensemble. And yeah, that is some cyberpunky goodness. It fits well, it looks good. Could use some more armor. I think that with a helmet like that, you really need more, at least like shoulder armor or something. Luckily, I've got plenty of that in various forms. So yeah, I'll be able to put something together with this. I might not have shoulders that really... Well, actually, no, my old shoulders match that helmet fairly well. Some of the other ones might not quite match. I wonder, I'll have to check and see if they have some sort of cyberpunky shoulder armor to go with this. I know some of the sets I've been sent to do. Oh! Swamp cat. Yeah, I think it works. So if you're looking for a particularly cyberpunky helmet, well, actually, they've got much more cyberpunky helmets than this. Things with LEDs and dreadlocks and all kinds of really cool stuff. But this one, I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Links to all this will be in the description. If they have anything else on their website you would like me to review, by all means, let me know. And I can reach out to them and see if they will let me have it to review. And Loadout Larry will, of course, be happy to model it for you. Thank you for watching. It also comes with a bag of all the screws and tools necessary to make any adjustments. Thought I should mention that. Foam!